Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. A lot going on, huh? Been doing a lot of videos about a lot of different things. But I think it's time I drop one on Claressa Shields and Franchon and the fight coming up. And, what could we see?
Ready for the fight, taking care of the family. And then you just keep on coming up with more and more lies. And then you're letting people come on your channel and spew more lies and don't even speak the truth. None of y'all have spoke the truth yet. Y'all all get on here lying about me every single day. Every single day.
What's the truth?
If you like me or not, regardless of if you like me or not, there should still be no lies told about me on my name.
Tell me what the truth is, okay? And then I got another question. Tell us, because I always say Claressa Shields should call in. I'm not going to ask you anything inappropriate. I'm not going to disrespect you, because I feel some of the interviews you do, people know that you're going to talk, and they ask you shit. Well, I'm like, why are they doing it like that? I'm not going to do that. I want to hear from you, and these people need to hear you too. I would never disrespect you. You called in, I would never disrespect you. But I'm glad you called, because I was a fan of you, big time. And even now, I still come out and respect you when people come out to me, oh, she's going to lose, this the season, she could get scalped, but she's always been perfect, she's always been unpredictable. One thing she can do is whip your ass. So it's hard for me to pick someone to beat her, but if she doesn't have the focus like what it may seem, she's not locked in, she could end up going in the ring and get clipped. Look, I didn't fight all them amateur fights in the Olympics, but I boxed. I know what it is to cut weight and train. I know what you do. That's why I tell them. This Claressa Shields and even Franchon, they ain't gonna sit here now with all the hard work they put in from little kids and come out here and just throw an effing fight. I'm like, ain't no in the world she gonna do that. She already got it hard enough as a female boxer, a black female boxer in the whole world turned against her. So she ain't gonna come now and take it to the stupid and do something dumb. Y'all remember that? She ain't gonna come now and take it to the stupid and do something dumb. Dumb, da dum, dum, dum. Pap, papoose, pap, where you at? Hood champion talking about me again. I'm gonna talk about her because she's a fighter. You know what I'm saying? Now, the fight is a couple days away, and I gotta be real here. Gotta keep it real in the battlefield. I've been watching Claressa Shields and Franchon. As far as the fight being fixed, as far as Claressa not being focused, as far as Franchon, having a chance to beat Claressa. You gotta excuse that cough. I went to the doctor today, got some medication, but ain't nothing they can do about it. It's just viral, flu, bronchitis, and it's going away. I've had it for about a month. But anyway, man, the meantime, in between time, Mr. Outer International here. We gotta look and see, man, is this a real fight? Or is this a fix? You know what I'm saying? Because according to Claressa Shields, it's gonna be a real fight. She ain't gonna sit here and fix nothing. Franchon's not gonna fix nothing. Fans should start spreading them narratives. No one should even think that if you let Claressa Shields tell the story. No one should even think that something like that would happen when it comes to her. Now, I'm going to tell you this right here, man. The last couple of days before a fight, fighters are usually in a strange, emotional place. Now, for Claressa Shields, the Gwoat, she's been what seems to be in a strange, emotional place for quite some time. You know what I'm saying? But the work is done. You know what I'm saying, for Claressa and Franchon. The body's already tight from weight cuts and training. And now it's just the mind running laps. Now for Claressa Shields, this moment is uniquely dangerous. Because she's not just defending a belt, she's defending an identity. You see, Claressa's undefeated record isn't just a stat. It's her crown jewel. The foundation of the Gwoat, papoose, pap, brrr. Label she wears so proudly. When Records needs her to be undefeated, Demetrius Salita needs her to be undefeated. Claressa Shields, she needs to be undefeated if she wants to keep trumpeting that she's the GOAT, she's the best. Y'all females are bums. I got the 2 gold medals, 19 world titles, 5 weight divisions, 3 times undisputed.
Hey, yo, hold your horses. Let's not take it to the stupid. Without that zero, the mythology changes, folks. A loss doesn't mean just alter a resume. Not for Claressa Shields. Claressa Shields. Claressa Shields. It alters a legacy story that she's been writing since the Olympics. This is why this fight is not just about Franchon Crews Dezurn. It's about what Claressa becomes if the narrative cracks. Y'all got to sit here and do the knowledge, do the science, do your due diligence. I'm going to ask you again, what happens to Claressa Shields if the narrative cracks? Somebody tell me something. You see, undefeated fighters walk into the ring with two opponents, the woman across from them and the fear of becoming ordinary. Claressa, if she loses, she becomes less than ordinary because she's never going to hear the end of it. And that pressure doesn't make everyone stronger. Sometimes it makes people louder, more reactive, and more emotionally volatile. That's where social media comes in. You know, social media is a trip. I didn't even know social media was what it was until the last couple months. Because I've been on here for a minute. I just do my videos and bounce. But I tell you what, boy, Claressa still being active online in fight week is what has many fans questioning her focus. Even I'm sitting here saying, why is she out here on the damn internet? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm being honest with you. I'm sitting here and I'm saying to myself, why is she out here on the internet? I just don't understand it. You know, and I'm being real with you. You know what I'm saying? Let me see something here. I don't want this to play. This is what I don't understand. What is she doing? So she out here on the internet doing what she wants, having the time of her life, and she got a huge fight in front of her. Instead of tunnel vision, there seems to be pot stirring by Claressa Shields. Arguing with fans and feeding drama cycles that have nothing to do with footwork or conditioning. Now, I'm going to tell you, I know there are people who just come out here and give Claressa the business. But there are a lot of people who are just reacting to things she does. And Claressa can do what she wants. Her choices, her consequences. People on social media can do what they want. Their choices, their consequences. Okay? Everybody can come out here and keep feeding the drama cycles. But for Claressa, she's the person who I'd expect to be able to block that stuff out and focus on the footwork, focus on the conditioning, focus on training. You see, fighters who are truly locked in often disappear into silence because every emotional exchange costs mental energy. That being said, who has gone quiet? Who's disappeared into silence? Claressa Shields or Franchon Crews? I'm waiting. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's Franchon. Because even Franchon Crews knows, you know what? I ain't got time for these emotional exchanges. Shit costs me mental energy. She don't have time for that. So Franchon's locked in, people. When Claressa's clapping back, she isn't just defending herself. She's revealing tension. The irony is that she's still the betting favorite. She should be, like I said. Still seen as more technically skilled boxer and still one of the biggest fighters with the biggest names. Especially when it comes to her and Franchon. But I'm going to tell you right now, favorites can lose fights when their minds are split. This is why I said what I said in that call I played earlier. If she's not focused, 'tis the season for the Gwoat to get scalped. Favorites can lose fights when their minds are split, not focused. Meanwhile, Franchon Crews Dezurn is walking in with a different emotional load. She's the underdog. If she loses, who cares? But she's also the woman with less to lose and more to gain. So if she wins, she's in the house. She's never been stopped. Her durability is proven. And in this matchup, that matters because Claressa is not known as a finisher. She doesn't have power. Fans joke that Claressa can't burst a grape. Even Layla Ali said that. And while that's disrespectful, it reflects a real boxing truth. Claressa wins with volume and control, not with erasure. That means Franchon doesn't need a miracle, people. She needs rounds. She needs to be there late. And psychologically, that's a powerful thing to believe when you're walking toward the ring. I just need to get through these 4 because Claressa's got speed. She's sharp. She got some pop, but she ain't got that freakish power like she needs to keep someone like Franchon off her. But I'm going to tell you this, right? There's an unusual cloud over this fight because of outside narratives. Many eyes will be on Franchon, not just to see if she wins or loses, but to see how she loses or if she looks like she's throwing the fight. That is a real concern for a lot of fans. I've been listening to people talk for quite some time. And look, I'm out here trying to explain, often talking till I'm blue in the face. Like, yo, this is not going to be a fixed fight. But people don't want to hear nothing I had to say. Bullshit, they picked Franchon for a reason. It's going to be fixed. Claressa's first fight would win records. Papoose, pap. This guy out here in the mix. Claressa can't lose. You know they picked Franchon because they're friends. Big sister, little sister here. We'll put some money in your pocket. But we need Claressa to win. And I hear that when people say that. I mean, I hear that. But it's not fair for her as a fighter when it comes to Franchon. But look, that's the reality in the atmosphere right now. Many people aren't taking this fight serious. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand, because Claressa has never stopped anyone at this level, a sudden knockout would immediately trigger suspicion among fans. Even me, hood champion, to stop and say, hey, yo, hold your horses. Somebody took it to the stupid. Was it Claressa? Was it Dimitri Salita? Was it Win Records? Or was it pap, papoose, pap, pap? I got to ask the question. Because Franchon Crews doesn't get knocked out, people. She does not get knocked out. If Claressa wins by KO, oh, hell no. A loud segment of the audience will throw the bullcrap flag and claim the fight was fixed. That reaction wouldn't even be about Franchon's performance. It would be about Claressa's history. However, I got to keep it real, you know, because that's just what I do. I understand Claressa is there, man, working with some killers. She got the support of Shakir, killer. Support of Keyshawn, killer. Support of Terrence Crawford, killer. Support of Andre Ward, was a killer. Support of Roy Jones Jr., was a killer. Support of Floyd Mayweather, killer. I tend to believe that those guys are sharing certain things with Claressa Shields, and for those who still have the resources at their disposal, are making sure they afford those resources to Claressa Shields to where she gets in here on her win record debut, big $8 million deal, 4-fight deal debut, and she's able to get a knockout against somebody who at this level has never been knocked out. But I'm going to tell you this right here. You know, when a fighter suddenly does something they never done before, and if Claressa can all of a sudden do something like this, which is something she's never done before at this level, and never happened to Franchon, fans don't assume growth, or she's been working hard in training camp, or she finally learned how to throw punches as a pro. Nah, fans ain't going to say that shit. They're going to say manipulation. Manipulation. And that's where the conversation will drift towards Willie Mackey and Win Records. Papoose pap. Because social media loves villains more than it loves champions. If Claressa wins violently, the internet won't just analyze punches. It will analyze relationships, money, influence, and of course, motives. That's how modern boxing works, folks. The fight doesn't end at the bell, it explodes online. There's also a strange silence coming from, Franchon in terms of trash talk. Normally, this would be the moment to weaponize drama, to use Claressa's public relationship issues, her being with the married man, the online arguments, and the controversy to dig under Claressa's skin. Y'all notice Franchon ain't really said much. She hasn't really gone all out on Claressa Shields when it comes to what seems to really get under Claressa's skin. It's people talking about her relationship with Willie Mackey, Papoose. Even I said, why is she not doing it? I mean, shit, fighters have done this for decades. Floyd Mayweather Jr., I remember watching the goddamn HBO 24/7. He brought up Shane Mosley's divorce from Jen Mosley, talking about how Jen getting half, he giving up that money, she taking his belts. Y'all remember that shit? Floyd went all out. Even I thought back then, I said, that's hitting a man below the belt, man. It's personal shit. But just let you know that, fighters will do and say things to destabilize their opponents mentally before a fight. Muhammad Ali famously targeted Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier's pride and background. Bernard Hopkins insulted Felix Trinidad's heritage. So fighters have talked about children, wives, money, and masculinity to crack opponents psychologically. This is ugly. And I'm not saying I like it or not, but I think, it's part of sports mental warfare. What's unusual here is that Franchon is not leaning into that tactic. And maybe because she has some integrity and she's like, look, I'm just not going that route. That's their business. I don't care. But I noticed, like, she's not publicly swinging at Claressa's drama. You know what I'm saying? And this could mean she's genuinely focused, or it could mean she doesn't want the narrative twisted against her if things go sideways. So silence can be discipline, but silence can also be the fear of backlash. Either way, it's notable. And I've noticed it. You know what I'm saying? Now, if Claressa loses this fight, the consequences go far beyond a belt and far beyond what Franchon would deal with if Franchon loses. Claressa is going to face a social media tsunami of hate, tsunami of humiliation, and, a robust ridicule that may never fully stop even after she retires. Her critics will not just say she lost, they will say she was exposed, that the Gwoat label was self-appointed, and that her mouth finally wrote a check her fist couldn't cash. And they're going to blame Willie Mackey. Oh, Papoose Pat. They go blame Papoose Pat. They ain't going to want to hear shit. Because one thing for sure, when I hear a lot of these ladies talk, some say they care about Claressa and they don't want her to get hurt. Others say that, but they don't mean that shit. Because you look, they on everybody goddamn page talking shit. But I do believe there's some who genuinely want the best for Claressa. You know what I'm saying? But the others, they just bandwagoners looking to dogpile on on the Claressa and be miserable. And half of them don't even have their real profile pictures up because Claressa probably look better than them and shit. But I'll tell you this, right? For a fighter who has built her brand on dominance and superiority, a loss hits differently, man. That shit hits differently. Psychologically, undefeated fighters don't just lose fights. They lose protection. That 0 on the record acts like armor against criticism. For Claressa Shields right now, people can say what they want. Floyd Mayweather, people could have said what they wanted. Terrence Crawford, they could have said what they wanted. Andre Ward, Joe Calzaghe. Any fighter who was undefeated. That O was like an armor against criticism. And the guys who are undefeated right now, that's why they're fighting tooth and nail to get the kind of fights to stay undefeated. Because we all know once it's gone, every past argument gets reopened. Every old clip resurfaces. Every rival gets louder. You see, Claressa with an undefeated record is untouchable royalty. Claressa with a loss, she becomes human. And humans get hunted. That shift can either be a humble fighter and sharpen them. She'll come back in the rematch better than ever. Or it can make them bitter and reactive to where now she don't want to come out there and fight. She don't want to train because she's depressed, she's angry, she's sad, she's lost, she's confused. She's been dealing with social media who's been out here not holding their horses and taking it to the stupid. But if you're going to come out here and say you're going to own social media, the internet in 2026, hey, that's a choice you made. You got to deal with the consequences because history shows both outcomes. Some champions can rebuild, others unravel. What's going to happen to Claressa Shields? That's the question. What happens to Claressa Shields? But I'm going to tell you something ain't nobody really talking about. Let me tell y'all the real deal. Those judges. Pressure on those judges. You better believe it. They in Detroit. That crowd who's coming out to support Claressa Shields, there ain't no A-listers coming out there. Ain't no A-listers. You ain't going to see Schwarzenegger out there, Sylvester Stallone. You ain't going to see Angela Bassett, Wesley Snipes. You ain't going to see Denzel in the crowd. You ain't going to see Jim Carrey out there, Jack Nicholson. You ain't going to see these big-time Will Smith and motherfuckers. You ain't going to see them people in the crowd. Nah, you ain't going to see that. You're going to see Ray Ray, Lil Joe, Lil Joey. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're going to see, Mook Mook. You're going to see those kind of motherfuckers in that crowd, man. So you better believe those judges, especially if this fight goes to a decision, boy, and a high-profile women's bout with this much noise attached, every round will be scrutinized. A controversial decision for Claressa will be labeled corruption. They're going to be like, this is bullshit. Franchon deserved to win. But, we're going to know the deal. But I'll tell you what, a decision against Claressa will be labeled robbery by her fans. And that brings us to the crowd. Detroit is not neutral territory. Claressa is she ain't from Detroit. She's from Flint, but she's from Michigan, and they kind of seem to have adopted her. But, people keep talking about the Beach Boys wanting to put the bing bings on. I don't know. I don't know about all that. Because so far, everything seemed to be cool. But fight day hasn't arrived, so we don't know. But Claressa's the hometown star, and crowds in emotionally charged fights don't always behave rationally. That's all I'm going to say. If Franchon wins a close decision, the atmosphere could become volatile. Shit could get crazy in there. Booing can turn into chaos when people feel that hero was wrong. That's why security matters. Extra guards, clear separation between camps, controlled exits, and crowd management are not luxuries. They are necessities. Boxing history is full of riots sparked by disputed decisions. So that's what I'm going to be paying attention to, boy, the fight. I'm be scoring the fight. I'm going live. I'm going to be like, all right, it looks like we're going to the 10th round, and Franchon is up, it's 8-2 or 7-2. Entering the 10th. I'm going to call it, with me. I talk my videos. I have fun with my videos. But one thing for sure, I don't care who wins. I'm not rooting for or against Claressa, for or against Franchon. Now, if it was Shadesha, I'd be rooting for it. Win, lose, or draw, I'm rocking with Shadesha. I don't care. I always rock with Shadesha. It's just like Brian Norman Jr. I like him. I'm always rocking with Brian Norman Jr. He's a tranquilized man. I just like him and his dad's relationship. I like the way he moves. He's a cool young cat. But for Claressa and Franchon, I don't care who wins. If it goes to a draw, I don't care. It's a very interesting fight. But I'm just telling you, man, if this fight is a close decision, you just pay attention to them judges. Watch that crowd. See how long it takes for the scorecards to come out. Or see if something gets announced, how they all of a sudden go and sorry, it was wrong, and they fix the scorecards. I've seen shit like that happen, man. But boxing history is full of riots sparked by disputed decisions. That's all I'm saying. And this fight carries enough emotional baggage that organizers must assume something can happen and not hope nothing will. They got to assume. And that's why I wonder, because I'm watching just the operations and who's at the operation management level. They don't seem to really be structured. Even the promotion of the fight, I'm like, where's that? It seems to me like they've tried to cut back on cost and penny pinch. And if they want to do that with the promotion, okay, cool. Don't do it with security and safeguarding fighters and fans. Can't do that. But I'll tell you this. In the end, this fight sits at a crossroads of sport and spectacle. Claressa Shields is fighting to protect a legacy and an undefeated image. Franchon Crews Dezurn is fighting to redefine herself and potentially become undisputed at heavyweight. One woman carries the weight of being expected to win. That's Claressa. The other carries the freedom of being allowed to lose. That's Franchon. Social media, relationships, drama, and suspicion all swirl around the ring before the first punch is thrown. That's just being truthful, people. That's what makes this dangerous. This whole shit is dangerous. The fight itself may be technical and disciplined, but everything around it is emotional, political, explosive. No matter who wins, the reaction will be louder than the result. And that may be the most important thing to understand going into this fight. Dangerous. If Claressa loses, there's going to be beef in that damn arena. If she loses, she's going to be beefing with herself. There's going to be beef with Demetrius Salita. There's going to be beef with Ren Records. Beef with Papoose. You already know shit's going to hit the fan if she loses. It's going to be a problem. Beef with social media. Claressa Shields is going to lose it. She's going to lose it because she's going to have to wake up the next day. It's like the passing of a loved one. You wake up the next day, shit ain't the same. She lose that it'll be the death of an undefeated fighter's record. She wake up the next day, record won't be the same. Nothing she can do about it. She got to sit there and deal with that. And old Willie Mackey, Papoose, he got to deal with it. And I'll tell you one thing, in my opinion, I don't think people who just dealt with loss like that, they want anyone talking to them. They just want this space. They don't want to hear nothing. And I'm telling you, shit gonna hit the fan. And I wish everyone the best of luck. I got to be honest with you, because I never wish for somebody to be sad and be unhappy and all that shit. But who knows? It may be a good thing if people start to kind of create a bit of separation. Maybe a good thing. But I tell you what, if Claressa loses, I wonder if her career could ever recover. Because this fight could make her, or it can probably break her forever. But a lot of fans just don't trust this fight at all, man. The social media, the drama, dangerous fight night. You got the Gwoat, self-proclaimed Gwoat, out here being ranked number 2, Katie Taylor number 1. There's just a lot of shit going on, man. But let's see. We're going to find out just how focused career was. And we're going to find out just why a lot of fans believe Franchon has a real chance to win. And also, I believe Franchon has a real chance to win. But I still think Claressa should be the favorite. You know, I got to be real. Anyway, this shit ain't about belts. It's about legacy, identity, and survival. And social media. That being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans on 7 continents. Probably drop about 4 more videos today, but right now I just feel like chilling. I don't feel good. I don't. Fucking coughing, all that bullshit. I've been out all day at appointments. I'm about to go chill. You know what I'm saying? Nice to just chill. Cool to be retired. You can do what the fuck you want. Y'all be cool. I'm in the breeze.